Hi, it's a Yogi Momo. If your hips are in need of a little flexibility, then today's Vinyasa Flow is exactly what you need. Stay tuned, lots of good things coming your way. Today's flow is going to be all about our hips. So get yourself your mat, clear off a space wherever you're going to be working, and just come to seated. I want you to come to a simple cross-legged position. We call this Sukhasana. You can call it whatever you'd like, but just cross your legs, place your hands on your knees, sit up nice and tall, let your shoulders come away from your ears, and close your eyes. We're going to spend these first couple of moments just settling in to whatever physical space where you have found yourself today, beginning to block out any distractions, any worries, any tensions, any demands on your schedule that are coming for the rest of the day. But for the next few minutes, just push it all aside. I want you just to breathe naturally. Let the breath just come. Allow your mind to begin to clear as you bring yourself to this present moment, this present place, with an internal focus on you, your practice, your breath, and honoring the fact that you're spending a little bit of time on yourself today. If you're not familiar with our Ujjayi breath, I'm going to take you through just a quick little sequence while we're seated to begin to connect to our breath, allowing it to become balanced. The inhales and the exhales, same length. So from where you are, you can keep the eyes closed, you can open them up. I want you to begin to inhale, let the belly expand with air. Breathing in through the ribs, lifting the chest. Exhale, blow it out through your mouth. Chest, ribs, belly. Inhale again from the belly. Lifting the ribs, inflating the chest. Exhale, let it go. One more like that from the belly. And exhale. Seal your lips. We're going to switch to Ujjayi. Inhale again from the belly. Fill the ribs and the chest. Lips stay sealed. Exhale through your nose. Listen for that oceanic sound in the back of your throat. Inhale again. Exhale through your nose. If it sounds a little like Darth Vader, you're doing it right. Inhale again. Exhale through your nose. One more. Exhale. Allow your hands to come alongside you. Next inhale, arms go up. Lift the gaze until the hands meet at the top. Exhale, pull them down slowly through heart center. Two more. Let's warm the arms up. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. One more. And exhale. I want you to bring your right hand to your left knee. Your left hand comes behind you. That's going to anchor you down. Sit up nice and tall. Breathe in. And as you exhale, begin to twist toward the left. Just keep breathing, holding the twist. Chest is opening up. Feel this through your low back, through your chest, in your neck. One more breath here. And then slowly come back to center. Allow the left hand to come to the right knee. Right hand comes behind you. Sit up tall as you inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. Continue to breathe that beautiful three-part breath from the belly, the ribs, the chest. And then you exhale it out slowly. Come back to center. Let's roll through a few seated cat-cows. Hands are on the knees. I want you to inhale. Begin to let the head tip up. Let the chest lift. And then exhale. Roll the shoulders toward the ears. Bring the chin to the chest. This is your seated cat. Inhale. Let's rise to seated cow. Drop the shoulders. Lift the gaze. Exhale. Rolling to cat. Chin to the chest. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. We're going to do 3 more of those, and I want you to really notice what your spine is doing. Spine lengthens and rolls with every breath. 2 more. Inhaling to cow. Exhaling to cat. Last one. Inhale, cat, cow. Exhale, cat. And then come back to neutral spine. Shoulders are relaxed. Bring the soles of your feet together. Allow your knees to come out. Take your hands, hang onto your toes. Sit up nice and tall. Don't worry about trying to push your knees down to the mat. Just let your shoulders come away from your ears. We're coming into butterfly, your Baddha Konasana. Sit up nice and tall, breathing here. We're going to open up the hips, but just notice where they are today, how they feel in this moment. Inhale deeply. Exhale, bring your chest down. And as your chest comes toward the feet, let the head bow. Release the tension in the back of your neck. Start to feel the stretch in the inner thighs, radiating out through those hips, continuing to breathe. Two more long, deep breaths right here. One more inhale. Exhale, release. And then on the inhale, we begin to rise. All right, let's come into all fours. We got to warm up just a little bit with plank. Nothing too big, too strenuous, but it's going to help us when we're ready to flow through our sun salutation. So come into tabletop. Your hands are underneath your shoulders. Your knees are underneath your hips. The tops of your feet are on the mat and your back is flat. The first thing I want you to do is keep your gaze on your hands. Take your forearms down to the mat. You can keep the forearms straight out or you can clasp your hands together. From here, extend your right leg, lift the right knee. Extend the left leg, lift the left knee, and hold. If at any point this becomes too much, you take your knees down. Try to keep your shins off the mat. Let your forearms root you down and engage that core. We're only going to stay here for 5 more breaths. Keep breathing. Gaze is on the hands. Don't look back down towards the middle of your mat. Just look straight down. You've got 3 more breaths to go. If your knees are down, try to pull them up for the last little bit. And then exhale. Take the knees down. Push your bottom to your heels. Arms are above your head. Bring the forehead down. Come into child's pose. Let everything go when you come to child's pose. Your chest is collapsing toward your thighs. Your forehead is on the mat. Reconnect to your breath right here. If you were holding your breath in forearm plank, try to find the balance again. Stretch those arms high above your head. We've got 1 more plank ahead of us. So get reconnected to your breath. It's the most important part of your practice. 1 more deep inhale. Exhale, release. But slowly come back to all fours. Again, check your hands. Fingers are spread wide. Wrist under shoulders. Knees under hips. This is your tabletop. Keeping that spine as straight as you can, bring the forearms down. Keep them straight out or clasp the hands. Right foot goes back, knee lifts. Left foot goes back, knee lifts. We hold. Eyes are on the hands. Remember, if the knees need to come down, let them come down. Just stay on the balls of your feet, continuing to engage that core. 5 breaths here. And 4. 3. You've almost done it. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Take the knees down. Push back. Child's pose again. Hands can stretch above your head or take them, put them in prayer, and let them fall toward the back of your head. Reconnect to your breath. Chest collapsing toward your thighs. Forehead coming toward the mat. Finding the balanced breath again. Releasing all the muscles, all the tension. Reminding yourself why you showed up on your mat today. 2 more cleansing breaths here. And then go ahead and release the hands. Bring yourself all the way up to your shins, and let's come to standing. If you are new to yoga or you are new to sun salutations, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do, when to breathe, which movements are linked with which breath, and it's going to feel great by the time you flow through your first one. So first we stand tall in Tadasana. When you're in Tadasana, your ankles are under your hip bones are underneath your shoulders. Everything is nice and stacked. Arms are alongside you, your palms are open, your gaze is straight ahead. Even here in Tadasana, your mountain pose, I want your kneecaps lifted ever so slightly, engaging those legs. Chest is lifted. Your chin is parallel to the earth. You are standing strong, and here we go. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, we forward fold. Hinge from the hips, let the upper body come down, hang out right here. Put as much of a bend in the knees as you need to. We're going to hang out in this fold for just a few breaths. If the hands are touching the mat, fine. If not, maybe you grab opposite elbows. Let the upper body just hang. Your gaze is around your knees. Just look at those knees. Let the head hang. Continue to breathe. Notice how when you exhale, your chest gets a little tiny bit closer to your thighs, allowing yourself to feel the full benefit of the fold as your crown of your head is opened up toward the earth. One more breath here. Hamstrings getting loosened up. Release the elbows if you're holding on to them. Everybody's hands come to your shins. Inhale, look up halfway, flat back. Bend the knees. Put your hands on the mat. Step your right foot back. Step your left foot back. Now we're in high plank. Let's check our form. Fingers are spread wide. You're trying to make a beautiful line from the lengthening of your neck down to your tailbone, out through those heels. Breathe. And now as you exhale, knees come to the mat. Thighs follow. Flip your feet over. Bring your chest down. Hands haven't moved. Inhale, baby cobra. Hold here. Look straight ahead. And breathe. One more breath here. Let's curl the toes. Push back to the knees. Exhale, lift your hips, down dog. Bring those feet in ever so slightly. Eyes are on your legs. Head is relaxed. Fingers are still spread wide. Now shift your eyes to your hands. Step your right foot forward. And the left follows. Hands on the shins, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, sweep the arms. Let's rise up slowly. Hands come together. Exhale down. All right, shake it out. Get you a drink if you need to. Meet me back in mountain pose. We're going to do it again. Every time we come to mountain pose, your feet reconnect to the earth. You reconnect to the breath. Close your eyes for just a second. Imagine the breath filling up your belly, all the way through the ribs, inflating your chest, and then you exhale it out the same way. Chest, ribs, belly. Let's open those eyes. Here we go. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, hinge from your hips, forward fold. Hands come to the shins. Look up halfway. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees. Take the hands down. Step back the right and the left. Hold your plank. Eyes are on the hands. Right here. Breathe. Now exhale the knees, then the thighs. As you come down, flip your feet. Inhale, your cobra's a little more pronounced this time. Keep breathing. Go ahead and curl those toes. Push back to the knees. Exhale, lift your hips, down dog. Now we're going to hang out in this down dog for a few breaths. I want you to check your form. Your fingers are spread wide. They're a little more than shoulder distance apart. Your feet are hip width apart. If I were going to come by, I could put two fists in between your feet. That's how you know they're the right distance apart. You're on the balls of your feet. Not so important that your heels come down. And your gaze is on your feet. Head is relaxed. Back is flat. One more breath here. Take the eyes to the hands. Step the right foot. Bring the left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, sweep the arms. And we rise. Exhale, bring it down. All right, shake it out. Get reset. We're going to do one more of those. We're going to add a little something for our hips, getting everything nice and opened up. But first we stand tall in mountain pose. Tadasana. Connect to the breath. Gaze is straight ahead. Here we go. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fold. Hinge from those hips. Hands on the shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands are going down to the mat. Step the right back. Step the left back. Hold your plank. This time you have the option always to bring the knees down, or you can go into your full chaturanga. It's up to you. So here we go. Exhale. Knees can come down, or you lower the body, finding your cobra or rise to up dog. Curl the toes. Exhale, down dog. Eyes are toward your legs. Everybody breathe. Head is relaxed. Breath is steady. Now let's focus on those hips. Left leg stays, right leg lifts. Bend the right knee, bring the foot through. We're gonna look at our form first. Right knee over right ankle. Fingertips are on the mat. We're in runner's lunge. Your back leg is lengthened, your back heel is lifted. Eyes are toward your foot. Staying in runner's lunge right here. Lift your gaze slightly, pull your chest off your thigh. Stay right here, or if you want a little extra, Superman the arms, lift the chest a little more, hold, breathe. If you've got Superman arms, I want your palms pushing up like they're resisting something. And now, take the hands, put them back down. I want you to switch your right hand and your right foot. So the right foot's on the outside of the right hand. Hands are together. We're coming into lizard. You can stay right here. If this is enough of a hip stretch, you stay right here and hold. If you want a little more, come down to your forearms. Let that right knee fall open. Bow your head down. If at any point it becomes too much, let the back knee drop. Flip the foot over. Hang out right here. Everybody breathe. That right knee is falling open toward the side. If you want a little more intensity, allow the right foot just a tiny bit to open up like a book. So the outside edge of the right foot is on the mat. The outside edge is opening up. Gaze is down, closing your eyes maybe. Hanging out right here, breathing. Letting lizard pose really intensify as that fascia around your right hip breaks up, creating flexibility, mobility in your hip. We got 5 more breaths right here. Again, the left knee can be down, the left knee can be up. You're on the forearms or you're on the hands. We've got 1 more breath. If your knee is down, go ahead and lift it. If your right foot is open, plant it. If you're on the forearms, come to the hands. Now we're gonna switch. Right hand and right foot. They switch places again. And now let's kick it up, 3-legged down dog. Lower the foot, pedal out the heels. Take the knees wide, push back to child's pose. Everybody down on the mat, forehead connects. Hips are pushing toward your heels. Knees are wide. We're resting in child's pose. Giving a little bit of rest before we do the left side. So all around the joints of your body, you have fascia, this myofascial tissue. And every time you are immobile or you are seated, you're in front of the computer, you're in the car, wherever you are, the fascia around your hips gets tighter and tighter and more compacted. And poses like lizard and then pigeon, where we'll finish our practice today, actually take that fascia and begin to break it up. The longer you hold the pose, the fascia begins to break up, almost like a chemical reaction. It loosens up, it becomes more pliable, just like it was intended to be. So while it feels like you're lengthening muscles in your legs, you're actually helping the mobility of your hips. 1 more cleansing breath in child's pose. And now slowly walk the hands back. We got to get ourselves back to down dog. So let's come to tabletop because we have a left side to finish. Here in tabletop, curl the toes, exhale down dog, hips lift, eyes are on the legs. Let's lift the left leg. Bend the left knee. Bring the foot through. We're starting in runner's lunge just like before. Left knee is over left ankle, fingertips on the mat. Try not to collapse into your hands because if you do, your chest is going to be resting on your thigh way too much. Right leg is long, right heel is pushing back. Stay here, lift your gaze. Or hands come alongside, lift the chest a little bit more. Superman those arms. Breathe. Feel the power of runner's lunge. That left foot is rooted down. You feel it in that left glute. I know it's starting to burn. From the Superman arms, hands come back down. We're going to switch our hand and our foot. So the left hand and the left foot switch places. Left foot's on the outside, left hand in the middle, next to the right hand. We're working on lizard. If this is enough for you for the left hip, you stay right here. Or you can always drop the back knee, flip the foot over, maybe you stay here. Or if you want a little bit deeper intensity, go to the forearms. Clasp your hands, bow your head. If the forearms are down and you need to lower the knee, go for it. If you need a little more intensity, allow the left foot to open up, just like the pages of a book. The outside edge of the left foot's on the mat. The inside edge opening up. Allow the knee to open. Allow the hip to stretch. And breathe. Remember, fascia all around the hip joint, the biggest joint in your body. It's also surrounded by lymph nodes, and when we have tension and stress in our body, those lymph nodes around your hips seem to capture it, hold it there. And we wonder why we have such tight hips. People say they're not flexible. They just got things that are prohibiting it. We got to break them up. Just a few more breaths. We're almost done. If your foot is open, go ahead and bring it back. If your knee is down, go ahead and lift it. If you're on your forearms, come to your hands. Switch the left foot with the left hand. You're back in runner's lunge. Let's finish it out. Kick up the left leg. Lower it down, pedal out your heels. Knees come to the mat. Push back to child's pose. Forehead comes to the mat. Knees are wide. Toes are touching. And you are breathing. Let child's pose be your pose of restoration. As your chest is coming down, you're reconnecting to your breath. Remember, the kind of breath you want is balanced. Belly, ribs, chest. Exhale. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale. One more. Everybody connect to the breath. And then when you are ready, let's come back up. We got to finish the sun sow. I know it feels like we started it a long time ago, but come to tabletop. When you're there, curl the toes, lift the hips, down dog. From here, eyes go to the hands. Right foot comes forward. Float that left foot up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, sweep the arms. And exhale down. You are back in mountain pose. We're actually going to come to our final pose before we begin to cool down from our mat. So I want you to come down onto your mat, onto your shins. And we're going to end our practice with pigeon before we begin to surrender. And so when we do pigeon, we're going to actually take it from tabletop. But I want you to know you can easily come to pigeon from down dog. I just wanted to show you something a little bit different today. So remember that tabletop position. Let's come into all fours. Wrist under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to actually move from tabletop into pigeon. So keep your gaze on your hands. And now listen for the instructions so we get all the right body parts going the right way. So first thing, right knee comes toward the right wrist. Turn your leg so that your right foot is going to come and tuck underneath your left arm. The left foot, shimmy it back just a bit. The top of the foot's on the mat. And so now your right shin is actually on the mat. Sit up nice and tall right here. And the goal in pigeon is not to topple over into that hip. The goal is to keep your shoulders and your hips nice and square. So from here, we're sitting up tall, we're breathing, inhale. And then as you exhale, take the forearms down to the mat. Just let your hands stack on top of each other. Bow your head down, let your forehead come down toward your hands, and you should already feel that stretch in that right hip. It's really similar to the same stretch that you were feeling in lizard, but because we've tucked that foot, the intensity is not nearly as strong. And the beautiful thing about pigeon is that it's almost like a child's pose. So we're stretching our hips, but as our chest comes down to the mat, we're reconnecting to our breath, allowing all the fascia in that right hip just to break up, and we are just staying connected to the inhales and the exhales. Slowing things down, feeling that harmony between the heartbeat and the breath, feeling that connection between the mind, the body, the spirit. We've got 5 more deep breaths right here in pigeon on the right side. Just let everything go. And I'll tell you that if you're really concerned about that right hip and it feels like it's just hanging out in the air and you want it to have a little bit of support or a little bit of comfort, you can always do pigeon by tucking a blanket or a towel or a small little pillow, even a block, underneath that hip. It will elevate it just a bit and you won't feel like it's just hanging out in the air. 2 more breaths here. And now begin to lift your head. You can uncross those hands. They're going to come back onto the mat. Fingers are spread wide. The first thing we do is curl those left toes, shimmy the leg up until it gets almost to tabletop, and then gently unthread the right, bring the right knee back, readjust your tabletop, and we're back where we started. So again, you can come to pigeon from down dog, so the hips would be lifted. We'd lift the leg and do all kinds of sweeping things. But this is a little less intense, beginning our cool down. So let's take the left knee, bring it to the left wrist. Take the left foot, kind of tuck it underneath that right arm. The left shin is on the mat. And now take the right leg, let it just kind of shimmy it back. The right foot's still on the mat, and we're up tall. And then when you're ready, forearms come down again. And again, don't let that left hip topple over. You're trying to keep the hip in line with the shoulders as you bow the head down. The goal of pigeon is truly breaking up, just like lizard, that myofascial tissue that is all around the joints of your body. Whatever kind of thing you do for a living, what kind of activity that you have in your life, your fascia tends to get compacted. It even happens when you're sleeping at night. So first thing in the morning, pigeon is a really nice pose to start with. Just spend a few minutes, turn on a song that lasts about 5 or 6 minutes. Half the song spend on one side, half the song on the other. And you'll be amazed at the flexibility, the mobility that you have in those hip joints. It will affect your balance. It will affect your comfort level. And all of a sudden you'll realize you're way more flexible than you ever thought that you were. We've got 3 more breaths right here on the left side. 1 more. Inhale deeply. Exhale, release. Let's lift the head. Put the hands back on the mat. First thing we do, uncurl those right toes, shimmy that right leg up, slowly bringing it back toward tabletop. Unthread the left. And now take yourself so that your hands are under the shoulders again, and we're going to windshield wiper the hips. So take the hips side to side. Just push them out. One side, then the other. Eyes are still down toward the hands. Feel that release in the low back. Everything's slowing down. All right. Let's cross your ankles, bring your bottom down, and send your legs out in front of you. We're coming into staff pose, your Dandasana. So your legs are straight. Let's begin to stretch things out and getting ready to close our time together. So arms are alongside you. Lift your arms up as you inhale, and then exhale. Bring the chest toward the thighs. Let the hands just come toward the legs. They can rest on the shins, the ankles, maybe the feet. But I want you to look at your feet right here in your seated forward fold. Your knees can bend. Bring them up towards you if you need to. But keep your eyes on your feet as you lengthen the back. Feel those hips. Feel those quad muscles, those hamstrings, the glutes, everything in the low body. Beginning to stretch in a way that feels a little more restorative than it does at the engagement level. Keep breathing. 1 more breath here. Release the hands, inhale up. Exhale, hands down. Bend the right knee, bring the sole of the right foot in. Cross the right leg over. I want you to take your right hand, place it behind you like we did earlier. It's your anchor. Left arm comes up, bend the elbow. Push it into that right knee, and then we twist just like we did in the beginning. Feeling that stretch, coming into your half Lord of the Fishes. Sitting up tall, continuing to breathe. Chest is open. Slowly release, come back to center. We bow to the left, almost like a cat pose, arching the back. Coming up, uncross the right, extend the leg. Bring the left foot in, cross it over. This time it's the left hand that anchors you. Right arm goes up. Bend the elbow, push it into that left knee, and begin to twist toward the left shoulder. Hold here. Breathe. Breathe here. Come back to center. Let's bow to the right. Bring yourself up. Uncross the legs. Both knees are up. Bring your heels close by your bottom. So scoot yourself in. Hang on to your legs right here in the front of your shins. And slowly lower yourself down. So we're coming onto our back. Beginning to cool things down. Getting ready for final Shavasana. Come onto your back. And from here, tee the arms out. Cross your right leg over your left. The knees are still up. Let the legs fall to the left. Take the gaze to the right. Feel the supine twist right here. Close your eyes here and breathe. Gaze and the knees come up. Arms are still out, and cross your right. Now cross your left leg over. Gaze goes to the left, legs fall toward the right. Close your eyes and breathe. Slowly come back to center. Uncross your leg. And as you do, send the legs down the mat, send the arms alongside you. If your eyes have opened back up, allow the lids to close gently. Legs can be a little more than hip width apart. Let your feet fall apart, opening up to the sides. Take your palms. They can either stay to the mat or you can open them up to the ceiling. Close your eyes and make yourself ready for your final Shavasana. No more engagement, no more effort, no more exertion being asked of your body. I want you just to lie there, finding full relaxation, finding stillness, thanking yourself for everything that you've done up to this point. Shavasana is corpse pose when we translate it into English. And so right here before we leave our time together, I want you to let any stress, any tension, any burdens that you are carrying, just let them melt away. Let them die away from your spirit so that you do not take them with you when you leave your mat. Allow every muscle in your face to relax. Allow your shoulders to rest far away from your ears. The low back, the upper back, the spine just melting into the mat. Your core is released, no more engagement needed. Your quads, your hamstrings, your legs, all the way down to your feet. Let every muscle go and just breathe. From where you are, don't move your body, but just lift your hands from alongside you, bring them to heart center, and bring them into prayer right there at the center of your body, letting your thumbs rest on your heart as you continue to lie on your back. As your hands press together, thank yourself for the time you have made today. While you will feel the physical benefit of getting those hips a little more loose and a little more flexible, the most important part of the time that you spend on your mat is the quieting of your spirit, calming the fluctuations of your mind that tends to go at 90 miles an hour on a regular basis. Let that be what you take away from your time on your mat today. Thank you for letting me guide you. Thank you for trusting me with your practice. And with that, I'll leave you with Namaste.